Showtime in Reno, Utah State and Nevada in the Mountain West. Our lineups are brought to you by Chase Freedom Unlimited. A pair of bigs who are transfers, far right side, Brandon Horvath and Will Baker. Keep an eye on.
Yeah, Horvath came with Coach Ryan Odom from UMBC. He is a skilled 5, and Will Baker from Texas, he's been playing really well as of late.
Those are the guys that are in. Who's out? Both teams are missing some key names and contributors. Rylan Jones is still out, concussion protocol. They expect him back next week. And of course, the great three-point shooter, Brock Miller, lower back issue. And Warren Washington had a crashing fall at Colorado State, banged up a couple of fingers. He did practice yesterday. It's painful, and he is out tonight for Nevada. How's the tempo of this one going to look?
Well, both teams average right at 75 points, so it's not going to be a track meet by any stretch. It's going to be an execution game, lots of pick and rolls both sides of the floor.
Horvath on a cut, Beans pass a little high, and a turnover on the first touch for Utah State.
Utah State, really a good executing team, goes back to Craig Smith's days, but Steve Alford, a disciple of Bobby Knight in the motion offense. You'll see a lot of cutting, moving off the ball, and a lot of pick and rolls with Sherfield.
Desmond Cambridge drops in his first shot. Steve Alford told us with Cambridge, it's shot selection. When he takes good shots, he is dangerous. He had 23 against Colorado State. Horvath can shoot the 3, but he misses there. Daniel Foster getting a start on the floor right now for Nevada. Cambridge. That's a turnover. Ryan Odom had the biggest, there's Blackshear, and he got poked in the eye. And he's weaving his way towards the bench. Steve Alford over to look at him. Craig Neal, assistant coach, former head coach at New Mexico, is there as well. Let's take a look. Upper left portion.
Oh, it almost doesn't look like it's a poke in the eye. It's almost more of banging head to head, which for Bean, it could have been worse. We'll get a look at Bean, I'm sure, soon. He crashed heads with a teammate in their previous game. He's got an enormous black eye right now, but Blackshear, the worst of that.
That's his best side right now. There you go. And he had to put a big pad over that right eye because of the bruise. And you can see that, I mean, that thing was, I mean, he looked like Jake LaMotta a few days ago. If you don't know, kids, just
put a steak on it, right?
There you go.
Isn't that what boxers used to do back in the day?
Yeah, a bag of frozen peas.
Yes.
All right, so Nevada has to go deep to their bench. So Trey Coleman and Daniel Foster in the rotation right now for Nevada. Ashworth was splendid, 17 points, 5 assists against San Diego State. This is Bairstow, he's coming into his own. Also from UMBC, RJ Idlerock. Shot clock is down, Bairstow against Cambridge. Down to 2, gotta get it up. He does, and a baseline fall away from 10 feet for Bairstow.
Bairstow's been playing well as of late. 5 of the last 6 games in double figures. Hasn't shot it from 3 very well, but he's a versatile wing with great size.
Into Baker, spinning. Ashworth got a hand on it. Sherfield, clock single digits. Sherfield gets to the rim, missed the shot. Horvath, the rebound. Ashworth has really shot it well from distance. Bairstow has not, and he drills it.
I think he hurt us.
Sean Bairstow was 2 for 28 from 3-point before that shot.
It's not necessarily a matter of mechanics. It looks good coming off his hand. It just hasn't gone in this season.
Pick and pop with Baker. Good closeout by Horvath. Sherfield, Cambridge. That's sweet. Nicely done.
But you pay so much attention to Sherfield when the ball's in his hands. You help on any type of dribble penetration, but you can't leave Cambridge.
It stays with Utah State. Ryan Odom told us that for Sean Bairstow, it's all about his feet.
Right there you see, on the catch, that left foot was planted. On that catch, it's just a matter of getting his rhythm, right foot into it and straight up in to his shooting motion.
He had the same look on his face as Max Rice had a few games ago when he finally got a three to get down, because Max Rice, with the hip surgery for Boise State, he's had trouble shooting threes. He's starting to get up. He had a great game last night.
How about Boise State? 14 in a row now, ever since they put Tyson Degenhart in the starting lineup as a freshman. And then Marcus Shaver Jr., give him the ball at the end of any game, and you can almost count it right now.
Horvath, good ball movement. Idle Rock launches. And Baker with the rebound. Ashworth was not in the starting lineup, and of course with two guards out, Rylan Jones and Brock Miller, suddenly he has to be a point guard and a scoring guard all at once.
Well, he's more of a shooter who can make pick and roll plays or initiate offense as a point guard. In my experience, both as a player as well as watching the game closely, the best college teams typically have two ball handler decision makers. So when Rylan Jones comes back and Stephen Ashworth together, I think they make a nice backcourt in the Mountain West.
Baker calling for the ball, missed the left-handed jump hook. These are talented teams. These are teams, Horvath spinning. These are teams that when they get to Las Vegas could win. There's Rylan Jones in the concussion protocol. Hope to be back next week. Both these teams have the talent to win the Mountain West tournament in Las Vegas.
They do. And Nevada was preseason number 3. Sherfield was the preseason player of the year. And Utah State has been in the NCAA tournament a number of times in recent memory. It's just a matter of Coach Craig Smith moves on to Utah. Coach Odom is getting guys used to his culture and his philosophy.
Ashworth is a really creative offensive player. He's 6'1", 170, just a sophomore.
He's an older sophomore too.
Yes, he is.
Took a 2-year LDS mission as Sherfield knocks down the pull-up off the pick and roll, but Ashworth took an LDS mission, spent 2 years in Indianapolis. He is getting his legs under and playing really well as of late.
Idle Rock was terrific at UMBC. That's his teammate, Horvath. And he missed the runner. Rebounding was such a key for the win over San Diego State for Utah State. They did not allow San Diego State to have an offensive rebound at all.
Yeah, that was an amazing stat.
That ball's going to stay with Nevada. 7 apiece here.
We're getting creative on the baseline. Stephen Ashworth, you're not going to pick him up. I'll just finish on the other side of the rim, and Sherfield, pick and roll play is where he is at his best.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Chase Freedom Unlimited. How do you cash back? By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
Last 4 or 5 years, both these schools have had great moments in the NCAA tournament, put players in the NBA, and here they are trying to get on their feet in the Mountain West this year. Cambridge to the rim. Hines misses the dunk, and it stays with Nevada. Horvath goes down, and you can see him in your shot there. And he's back up on his feet. Neither team's real deep tonight. I showed you the 2 guards that are out for Utah State. And of course, Warren Washington, the 7-footer, is out for Nevada. And Horvath weaves his way over to Ryan Odom. Here's a look at Washington. The one thing about Washington's injury, it was reported as a fracture. Steve Alford told us yesterday, no fracture, a dislocation, but painful. They hope to have him back in the next week. And a foul inside. Let's see if we can find what happened to Brandon Horvath.
Might have been a knee to a thigh when he was getting back to his man on the low block.
Wing 3 there by Coleman, and he misses it. The backup bigs are in right now. Trevin Dorius for Utah State and KJ Hines for Nevada. Bairstow feeds Ashworth. That's a quick trigger, and it's long. A good rebound there by Desmond Cambridge. Both Cambridge and Sherfield can rebound. Blackshear's back in as well. Cambridge. Right hip, we're being told. And that's evidenced by the trainer working on it. Utah State's been shooting the ball better from beyond the arc of late. Idlerock called for it. Bairstow. Bean. Return to sender. Cambridge steps through, scores! A block. A great Euro step move. And a 2-point lead for Nevada.
What a block and then conversion on the other end. Justin Bean doesn't necessarily have the quickest of releases, but Blackshear, a great closeout, block, and the finish.
Idlerock gets a 3. Clean look, and he buries it.
He has been playing really well as of late. Took him a little bit of time to settle in. He came with Coach Odom from UMBC, but he has been really good. Versatile wing, can handle it, make plays for others, enough to keep the defense honest.
Shot clock did not start. You can see it on the I-bar below. 30 seconds on it. This is as solid a block as you're going to find.
Well, Blackshear helped down on Bairstow's dribble penetration. He was quick enough to recover and get the block, and finished with a nice Euro step on the other end.
Keenan Blackshear, the senior out of Orlando. Keys to the game, Dan Dickow.
Utah State get off to a good start. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Build confidence early and force turnovers. Nevada will cough it up on occasion for the Wolfpack. Keep Justin Bean off the glass. He averages a double-double. He's active on the offensive end of that floor. And then go strong to the rim. Utah State really doesn't have a rim protector. Last in the conference in block shots. Go to the rim expecting the opportunity to finish.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk numbers with Utah State and Nevada, it's a good place to start for Utah State. Against San Diego State, who's an excellent rebounding team and a really good offensive rebounding team, these numbers just jump off the page. They beat San Diego State, the number 3 defense in the nation, beat them by 18. And they shot it well from distance. They were 10 of 24, and they had 19 assists on 25 made field goals. And that's the team. They had some nice wins in non-conference, but they've not played well and had close losses in the Mountain West. And on the other side, Steve Alford's team, they suffered through a nondescript non-conference, to be kind. They lost some games that they should have won.
Yeah, they really lost to the WCC, essentially, is what it is. They lost to Santa Clara, lost to San Diego, as well as San Francisco. All 3 games I'm sure Coach Alford would like to have back.
But they've had their moments of late. Cambridge lobs to Hines. Nice catch, and he's fouled. It looked like Bairstow with the reach.
I mentioned the keys a second ago. Hines gets the lob over the top, goes directly to finish at the rim. Utah State no choice but to foul and put Hines at the line, where he's not the greatest of free throw shooters, only 67% on the year, but he hasn't been there a lot.
Gets it to drop through. Well, they're down Washington, and Baker's getting a blow right now. So Hines, and Steve Alford told us that yesterday. He said, hey, Daniel Foster's going to play a lot more. KJ Hines, you might even see a DeAndre Henry or a Jalen Weaver get some time in this game as well, because they're thin without Washington. They're going to have to mix and match. Max Scholge in the ball game for Utah State. Ashworth open, long on that. Cambridge the rebound. Here comes Blackshear.
Good job by attacking. You don't have anything. Come to a controlled stop. Don't charge. Don't turn it over.
Sherfield got some separation. And Bairstow was able to close out a bit. Bean is improved as a three-point shooter, and he buries one.
He has improved. He shoots it at nearly 50% on the season, but as you saw, it's a slow release, it's a low pocket. One reason Blackshear was able to get the block shot a few possessions back.
This is Cambridge, and that's a miss. Hines wrestles a rebound away, and Nevada getting good minutes from KJ Hines.
That's where he can be impactful. He's not really much of a low post scorer as far as you're going to throw him the ball on the block. Where he can get opportunities is on the glass as well as screen and roll actions.
Shoga does a little bit of everything off the bench. Bean, and down he goes. Again, the patch on the right eye for Justin Bean.
Justin Bean continues to improve throughout his 4 years. Mentioned almost 50% from the three-point line. One of the reasons why he typically takes great shots. That's an example of one, wide open in transition.
Shoga and Dorius on a nice feed. And Dorius getting some run. Remember, Brandon Horvath went down, and he's still at the end of the bench and was still receiving attention from the trainer on that right hip. Sherfield lobs, another catch. How about KJ Hines?
Well, again, just as I mentioned, his scoring opportunities are screen and dive. Dorius not quite quick enough laterally to contain Sherfield and then get back.
Dorius now, that pops out. Coleman has the loose ball. Tied at 15. Sherfield crosses over and an offensive foul.
KJ Hines, the junior from Phoenix, being impactful early. The lob up over the top to catch the corral, the dunk. We got a tight one here in Reno.
You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Chase Freedom Unlimited. In the Mountain West tonight, two teams are not real happy with their records right now. They have talent. Each has an MVP candidate. One's got a patch above his eye. That's Justin Bean. You see the points? His field goal percentage, 57%. And he got that shiner by colliding with one of his teammates. That was in the San Diego State game. They beat San Diego State by 18, and he obviously felt it was worth it. And no stitches. He was fortunate that that patch above is more of a pad than anything, just to pad that eyebrow.
I'll tell you what, he is an unsung hero nationally. He plays so hard.
Ashworth.
Many guys average a double-double as he does, 13 in the country. And the beautiful thing about his game is he's improved every single year while in Logan. Started as a walk-on.
Alan Husinovic is in for Nevada. Daniel Foster's back in as well. Sherfield, man, they ask him to do a lot, and he does a lot. Z Hamada is in for Utah State, has that rebound.
And they ask him to do a lot, but that's just not a good shot from Sherfield.
As soon as Ashworth saw Bean get free, he said, you know what, you can dunk, I can't. Because they were both open once he penetrated.
A terrific opportunity cut from Bean.
And Ashworth is having to trail Sherfield around, though they switch, and Horvath is back in for Utah State. That's a great sign. Hines has got 6. Sherfield, Foster in traffic. It's a turnover.
Ashworth, a nice job attacking a poor closeout. The find on Bean. Such a good cutter off the ball. The defender loses sight of man and ball. Simply make yourself available at the front of the rim.
RJ Idlerock is in. And there's Horvath.
Tremendous.
He was really good for UMBC. Ryan Odom averaged 13 points and 9 rebounds a game. Was first team America East pick last year. He and Idlerock chose to come with the coach.
It's working out well for both. Horvath averaging in double figures. Idle Rock playing well as of late.
That's Will Baker who's back in, and Baker scores. And Dan Dickow pointed it out that Utah State doesn't have a rim protector, and both Baker and Hines have exploited that.
They have. Screen and roll, dive, and then especially with Baker, he's got a little bit of right shoulder, left hand jump hook action on the block.
Shulga out of the Ukraine. Hard drive and finish. He's a valuable guy off the bench.
Well, this Utah State team has 7 players from different countries, and many of them, Shulga, as well as Dorius, excuse me, not Dorius, but Zapala, represent their own national teams in FIBA competitions.
Coleman trying to dump it into Baker. And good steal there by Z Hamada out of Bahrain. Of course, Idle Rock is a Brit. He's out of London. Bean loads up. Long rebound. Shulga knocked off the ball. Husinovic gets the foul. Transfers and the impact transfers in the Mountain West Conference.
Well, if you're going to be good, you're going to take advantage of the transfer portal. Both these teams have a couple impactful transfers, as mentioned. Horvath, we've talked about him throughout the night, and Baker from Texas really didn't play much for Shaka Smart. That change of scenery here in Reno has been good for him.
Hamada crosses over, dumps it in. Horvath, great feet, and a nice bucket.
Great feet, but great hands as well to catch it in traffic.
And right now, Utah State looks like they did the other night against San Diego State. They played well on every aspect of the game. Cambridge, how they get that over Horvath. That's Hamada, and he buries one. Utah State, an 18-point beatdown of San Diego State on Wednesday, and tonight in Reno, a 9-point lead about midway through this first half.
Quickly get the ball up the floor and see what your opportunities are. Z Hamada coming off the bench and being an impact.
Frustration in the Nevada huddle right now. Utah State up 9. Speaking of Utah State, next Saturday they'll be hosting UNLV, who shocked everybody by beating Colorado State last night. 6 Eastern, that's next Saturday. Dan and I will be there on CBS Sports Network. And of course, to go a big night with UNLV, you got to go first with Bryce Hamilton. 42 he dropped on David Roddy and Isaiah Stevens. Stevens had 35 in that game. And Boise State, where are you going to go late shot clock, late game clock, when you need a 3 if you're the Broncos? Shaver again hit a great 3, put him into overtime. And Hunter Maldonado continues to be an MVP candidate.
There's lots of directions you can go in Player of the Year consideration in the Mountain West. Ike Maldonado, key jab with Boise State.
Inside, and Baker. It's nicely done by Nevada and Steve Alford. Out of the timeout, they run a nice set piece there and get a dunk.
Good execution, a great screen to free up Baker on that low block. Took his time and then attacked with force.
Idle Rock driving down the lane. Averages 8 a game in Mountain West play, 11 a game.
18 against New Mexico, 14 against Boise State. Coach Odom told us today he's kind of one of those guys that just kind of takes his time getting comfortable in situations. Did the same thing at UMBC, and now he's becoming comfortable.
Horvath with a foul trying to defend Baker. Baker's a really versatile guy. He can play inside and outside.
And Horvath got caught on the low side trying to steal, and then Idle Rock late. Might as well just let him go, finish it. Don't want to pick up a foul, give him an and one opportunity on the flush.
Lead is 9. Cambridge, Sherfield, Blackshear out there with Baker and Foster for Nevada. Blackshear drives, got in deep, and missed the shot. Bairstow. Bean not in there right now. Bairstow backing in. Kick out. Horvath 3. Boy, Hamada really got up. Missed the tip. Sherfield is just a flat score. Foster, he'll take that. Well, penetrates, dunks, and turned it over. Probably should have taken it. Give and go. And Horvath on a low pass couldn't hold it.
Returning to Nevada's lineup, K.J. Hines Jr. and Trey Coleman.
Ryan Odom in his first year. And of course, his dad, a terrific coach at South Carolina and Wake Forest, Dave Odom. Ryan, in his own right, has had a really nice run. Certainly at UMBC, and of course that upset over Virginia in the NCAA tournament in 2018, the first ever 16 seed to take down a 1 seed. And it wasn't close.
You're right. It's a monumental upset. It was only a matter of time. Somebody had to do it. And Ryan Odom's ball club was the first. He still said to this day, he'll be back in Charlotte where they played those games, and someone will make a comment. Brings back a lot of great memories. But he's trying to get Utah State to where they're annually in the tournament, picking up tournament wins themselves.
Well, Craig Smith and guys like Marco Anthony, Demish Keita, Sam Merrill, they were in the tournament a lot. Bairstow, hey, he hits another 3, 2 for 28 from distance coming into tonight. And Bairstow has hit both of his three-point shots.
In the same exact spot as well. Left-hand corner, hands and feet ready, let it fly, shoot it with confidence.
You see the run right now, 12-2 run. Biggest lead of the night for Utah State.
We'll get another look. Great extra pass from Horvath. And the spacing by Bairstow leads to that opportunity 3 in the corner.
You know, some opponents haven't been guarding him beyond the three-point line, and suddenly he's hit a couple shots that obviously will change the way teams look at him.
It will, and sometimes when you're guarded in that way, it throws you for a shock because you're like, what? I'm so wide open, and it becomes even harder to knock down that shot. Good to see him, if you're an Aggies fan, shooting those 2 threes with confidence and knocking them down.
So what you're saying is someone in your face, sometimes you're...
Without a doubt.
You get to put maybe a little more arc on the shot, Sherfield.
Yeah, sometimes the horse shots are the most difficult ones to make.
Hines has been the best player on the floor for Nevada with his 6 points and 2 rebounds, and now 2 free throws coming.
Activity from Hines. As you mentioned, he's been a bright spot tonight for Nevada. Nevada hasn't come out and executed particularly well, under 40% from the field. Their body language hasn't been great tonight either, but KJ Hines has provided a spark.
And that's the irony here, right? Because Warren Washington is out, 10.6 rebounds, and that has really disrupted, it feels like, the rotation for Nevada. There's Washington. But the guy who's playing for him, Hines, has been outstanding. It's the rest of the group that's not producing.
Well, you got to give Utah State quite a bit of credit. I mean, obviously the focal point should always be to slow down Sherfield and limit Cambridge's open looks, but neither one of those have gotten off and really done much here so far tonight. Nevada now in a little zone. You don't see a ton of zone from the Wolfpack, but they've got to find a way to slow down Utah State right now.
Ashworth steps into the 3. How did Bean get from the top of the key to under the basket? Because he delivered the pass to Ashworth, who shot the ball.
Well, he's relentless. He's one of those guys that just does not stop on the possession. We saw a couple minutes ago an opportunity cut when Ashworth drove baseline. He's just nonstop movement. He doesn't come up with it that time, but he's such a difficult matchup because he's, as I said, relentless. You can't relax against him.
And that's Bean who gets a hand on that pass. Ashworth, idle rock, puts on the brakes. fires a three and buries it.
Good decision from Idle Rock. Didn't like his opportunity at the rim against Hines. Waited for his buddies to get down the floor, and he's the recipient of an open three.
Remember, Utah State is playing without 2 starting guards right now. And it's a held ball. It's going to stay with Nevada.
That's a good call from the official. Sherfield over-penetrates, gets himself stuck in a crowd. Steve Alford doesn't like the call, but I think it's easily the correct call.
This is the sequence.
Yeah, maybe on second look, Steve Alford is correct.
DeAndre Henry in the ball game for Nevada, and Blackshear and Trey Coleman not on the same page. Nevada's last game, an 11-point loss at Colorado State. But last Friday at home, they beat a really good Fresno State team here by 4.
Fresno State's got a terrific, maybe another Player of the Year candidate in Orlando Robinson.
Bean whips it. Shoga fires. Got the three. Utah State from distance, 7 of 16. And their biggest lead of the night now grows to 16.
When you get to the middle of the zone, you create so much attention. And then the nice find from Bean.
You saw that number pop up, number of assists. 11 assists with 15 made field goals. Henry misses a 3. Cambridge follows it up. He had 23 in that loss at Colorado State. Ashworth driving and count it, gets a free throw. Boy, acceleration by Stephen Ashworth.
When you start knocking it down from 3, the closeouts come hard. Attack the closeout, get to the rim. Ashworth, the nice finish. He'll be at the line for 1 when we come back. Utah State 11th in the country with over 17 assists per game. They have started off on that pace today here in Reno. An amazing 11 assists on 16 made field goals to start off. Coach Odom told us today, the open guy is the go-to guy, and they have heeded his advice tonight. They've done a splendid job of sharing it.
When they move the ball, when they go side to side, or as you like to say, swing, swing,
yes,
every now and then, they are really, really good. And Ashworth gets to the line. Ashworth is a sophomore, but of course the LDS mission, he was an outstanding high school player at Lone Peak High School, which is one of the best high schools for basketball in the state of Utah. And he drops in a free throw. That's a 3-point play. That's a 17-point lead for Ryan Odom and the Aggies. And I'm sure somewhere Coach Odom, Dave Odom, is watching. He's got to be pretty proud of the effort so far. Coleman, Bean on him. Shot clock's down. Coleman has to shoot it, and it's short. Dorius tips it loose. A Utah State ball. Bench has been really good for Utah State. Hamada, Shulga, Dorius. Ashworth skips it. Hamada feeds. That's beautiful.
A terrific skip, and then Zamata rifles one to Dorius. Dorius has had some great minutes here.
Cambridge on the drive. Hamada streaking down the floor. And a foul. Not sure if it was on the shot or the rebound. I do know this. AT&T at the half is coming up. Lots of, obviously, highlights. news notes. Brent Stover is the point guard. Wally Zerbiak, the shooting guard. Shelvin Mack will provide some highlights. Seth Davis will handle the X's and O's.
Wally Zerbiak, tremendous shooter. Miami of Ohio, a tremendous run in the NCAA tournament. I believe it was 99. I was on the University of Washington team in the first round when he had 40 plus against us. It was a mid-range shooting exhibition that Wally put on that day.
How many minutes did you get as a freshman in that game?
That was my sophomore year. I was out with a broken foot right before I transferred to Gonzaga. But I was able to be a part of 5 NCAA tournament teams, 2 at University of Washington, 3 including a redshirt year at Gonzaga. Nothing like the NCAA tournament.
That's pretty good. You have 5 watches then, right?
I do.
That's very nice. That's a tradition, long tradition in the NCAA tournament. Players get an NCAA tournament watch. Foster, a clean look at a 3. Bean has the rebound. Hamada. And Foster gathers up a rebound. Nevada trying to make a little bit of run here. Ashworth collides with Sherfield. This is a 20-point game already.
Well, Utah State has played with a greater sense of organization and urgency on the offensive end of the floor. The ball's really been moving. They've gone continuity ball screen offense at times. They've really done a nice job of attacking the zone when Nevada went there on occasion. But on the offensive end for Nevada, they've been very stagnant. And when Sherfield and Cambridge are struggling to score, that is not a good sign.
As you watch Utah State, you may be asking the question, how are they 2-5 in conference? And a big part of that are just razor-thin margins and losses. 2 points to Wyoming, 3 points to Boise State, 2 points at Air Force, 5 points at Colorado State, 7 points at Fresno State. They've not been blown out in those games, but they haven't been able to get the wins at the end. Shulga. Everybody contributing right now. The Aggies of Utah State are having a whale of a first half. Nice look to Foster, who dumps to Baker.
A great catch from Baker in the finish. But to stay on the topic of the Mountain West, I mean, I think it speaks to how good this league is. There's a lot of depth. You know, there's 4, maybe 5 teams that have a legitimate NCAA tournament case right now, barring any collapses down the second half of the conference play.
Foster rotates, Shulga knocks it out of bounds. 26 seconds left in the half, 23 on the shot clock. And the 2 guards who are out right there, I mean, that's Rylan Jones, 8 points, 5 assists a game. And of course, Brock Miller, prolific 3-point shooter. And they look calm and relaxed watching Stephen Ashworth and R.J. Eidelrock handle the backcourt with some help from Max Shulga off the bench. Baker a screen for Sherfield. Dorius hedged, he's doubled. Foster baseline, and the shot clock expires without a Nevada shot. 3 seconds on the clock, and a frustrating first half for Steve Alford continues.
Well, tremendous pick and roll defense from Utah State. Don't go anywhere. Utah State's been great offensively.
Not a great possession here from Nevada.
No, but Grant Sherfield's a great pick and roll player, and with that comes all the attention of Utah State's defense. Dorius, a great hedge, and then everyone active, ready to contain the ball handler, and then on the release pass back out top, they're all connected, leading to a shot clock violation from Nevada.
All right, let's see if Utah State can get up the floor and get something off with 3 seconds left in what has been one of their best halves of the season.
Nevada does have a foul to give if they want to use it.
This is Bean up ahead. Hamada, how about that? They got a really good shot, and it bounces off the rim. Utah State, a terrific first half. They shot 56% from the field, 39% from distance. And they lead it here 45-27. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Chase Freedom Unlimited. On to New York after this.